Hello, hello. We are part two of a many-part series for Customer Appreciation Week. I am here with my good friend and coworker, Joyce Trowbridge, who's also the owner of Just Bead It out of Concord, California. Hi, Joyce. How are you?
Good. Busy
Awesome.
morning.
Such a busy morning. Usually I'm off on Mondays, so my family is kind of falling apart a little bit today because they're used to being able to do a lot of extra stuff today. But they are off to go bike riding at the park, so I'm hopeful we'll have a quiet hour. We'll see.
I hope so.
Just so you know, for folks that are brand new to Softlex and you just happened upon us during Customer Appreciation Week, both Kristen and I, who are hosting Customer Appreciation, work from home, and we both have families. Kristen has older kids, so it's a little easier on her end, but she has dogs and life going on in the background. And I have younger kids who homeschool and go to preschool. And so, and my mom lives with us, so she's watching over them. But I have that going on in the background, as well as a very antsy dog that hasn't gotten to the dog park. So just bear with us. We have real life happening in our background. Where are you located, Joyce? Are you at home? Where are you?
I am at home in the garage today.
Yeah, you have kind of a bead shop in your garage now, right?
That is, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We had to close those doors, but this is fun too. This is a great way of still getting beading out in the world, and
yeah,
I love it.
So Joyce partially owned a bead store that was in Concord, and during the pandemic, they decided to go all online. And so you can now find all of Joyce's things, including the kit we're looking at today, if there's any left, and other kits in her Etsy shop. And what is your Etsy shop, Joyce?
It's Just Bead It Concord, all one word.
Perfect. Yes. I see Cassandra's here. I hope you had a really great hour. I was busy teaching my kids about plants and dirt. So I missed it because we were doing our homeschooling lessons, but I will replay it for sure, Cassandra. And I'm so glad you could kick us off with your beautiful project this morning. Okay.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it, and I'm excited to rewatch it later because I really think it's so pretty.
She has such great tips, and she's such a good teacher. She's also a bead store owner, and her bead store still has a physical presence in Michigan. So if you're ever in Michigan, try to look her up and stop in her store if you get the opportunity. But if you don't live there, you can catch her online all the time through Beads to Live By. Okay, Joyce, you've got a beautiful bracelet to show us. We have only an hour to do it in.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of turn this over to you. Just in case you guys were wondering, there's only 2 or 3 customer appreciation weeks from Softlex left. We're getting very low on them. So if you want to grab one of those, you can do that at softlexcompany.com. Joyce helped put this together too. This is a Joyce, Sarah, and Kristen compilation of items. We also have a couple of Halloween options. If you're big into Halloween and the holidays and like to party with us, you can get the Halloween Hustle, which is our monthly kit, or we have a jewelry making party kit, Monster Mash, that I will talk at great length with Sarah James about in the next video at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, because she'll be joining me. This is a collaboration between us and Jesse James Beads, and you need a kit from us and a kit from them, and you mash them together. And then we have 4 designers to teach you some fantastic designs using those 2 kits. So you can find those on the Softlex Company website as well. I'm turning it over to Joyce now.
All right. Here
you come, Joyce. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so that you don't have to hear all my crazy background noise over here, okay?
Hey, it makes me feel like I'm at home. It's okay with me. We are going to do our Garden Lane bracelet today. This is the original colorway. I do have a few more. Just got my package of all the replacement beads. So we have a few more up there in this colorway available. I also have some little mixes here so that you can see we have a few more colorways. So we had an original autumn, but this autumn is autumn 2 because some of the beads were not available to repurchase and the chain was not available. So we changed to the satin gold instead of the antique brass. We had to change a couple of the other beads, but I still think it turns out to be a beautiful autumn bracelet. We have wisteria. This one's brand new. It's going to be the antique silver with all sorts of shades of purple.
So pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm muting again.
Yeah. And then we have our Woodland 2. This is Woodland 2 because, again, we had beads that were not available again, but I loved the colorway so much that I had to find something that would work. So I found a couple of beads to replace, and I think this one turned out just as beautiful. I'm going to be working on the tropical today. Which I think is a fun one that we've had. And then 2 new ones is we have Midnight Shadow here with the red and a little bit kind of like a lavender and a blue and gunmetal. And then our Twilight Bloom, which is blues and deep colors. So those are our new colorways that are on there.
Can I just say that Mike would have loved Twilight Bloom?
Yeah.
Like that dark blue and green combination would have been his absolute favorite.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, that's why the Softflix colors are like blue and gold, you know,
Oh.
like turquoise and dark blue are definitely a favorite. That looks beautiful.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to put that in parentheses. Put Mike's on there.
Well, I'm speaking for him, but I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine so, though. I think you're right. I think you would be right.
I think
you
so
would
too.
know. And then, so we are going to work on the tropical right now. Grab these beads. We have a whole bunch of different kinds of beads in this kit. And so I'm going to go over them real quick, just so that people get an idea. Of course, we have our hibiscus flowers. These are 12 millimeter hibiscus flowers. We have some rondelles. They are 5x7 rondelles. We have 6 millimeter rounds. We have a bead that is either a, this one is actually the 6. This is a Charlotte cut size 6 seed bead, but we also have a tri-cut, a trica bead. So they're about the same size. Sometimes it's hard to get this bead in a color that I wanted. So I went for these because they're about the same size. So you might get one or the other. We also have some seed beads, size 8 seed beads. And then these little spacers are demi rounds. They are also a seed bead, but they are half the height of a regular seed bead. So this size 8 that we're going to use is like that, but 2 demi rounds makes the same height. So it's half the height. Makes a great little spacer. They're also done made by Toho seed beads that we carry. So I am unfortunately I spilt the silver ones right before this. So this demo is going to be using a different color, demi 8. So we have a demi 8 and a demi 6.
But you
the demi
spilt
8
on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Well,
I just grabbed the copper ones because they're going to show up and be able to see that very well in this demonstration. But your kit will have silver to go with the silver
we don't
findings.
cry over spilled beads here at Soft Flex.
No,
move
we're
on.
going to move on. I will clean them up after the live. I mean, it happened like, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course. That's how
I
it
was
works.
like, really?
Who
Really?
out there, if you've spilled your beads, please click that like sign and heart symbol for Joyce so she knows that you have done that a million times too. And you know her pain.
Yeah. Feel my pain.
Click that thumbs up for Joyce.
Thank you. We're also going to have a toggle, some 5mm daisy spacers, and some mini bead caps. Now, because these items are from our beloved Tiara Cast and supplies are limited, some of the new kits are not going to have the bead caps. They are going to just have a small daisy spacer in its place. It still looks great, still fits perfectly in the piece. It just is going to be slightly different just because of that, but we all understand because that's just how the cookie crumbles here. That's how the beads fall today. So I'm going to start out with, and then our chain that goes down the center. We're using both Soft Flex beading wire for the outside part and the craft wire for the little garden gate bridges across. So you're going to have 2 feet of the chain, and I usually just cut it in half. You can use the rest. It's way more than you need, but this way you have, I feel like working off of a longer piece actually makes it easier to hold and to manipulate when you're building this up. And then I just cut off the extras and extra length at the end and make them into earrings most of the time. So I have 2 pieces of chain. To keep things in line, I am going to put my clasp on. Now, when I design these, like if you decided to do this with your own chain, you want to find chain that has like a flat, like see how there's like 2 directions that the chains go. There's a perpendicular and a parallel to the table direction. So we are going to be connecting the 2 chains together with links, going with the ones that are perpendicular so that the parallel to the table part shows up. Now, all of the chains are different. Sometimes there's like 3 little small links in between. Sometimes there's only 1. You can use a lot of different kinds of chains for this. In fact, I think I have on my table one of my first ones that I did years ago with some crystal, and I used a filigree now I forgot the name of this one type of chain. So it's a little different than the one I'm using today. You can use lots of different kinds of chain. It's a matter of figuring out the spacing and making sure that you have holes that the wire will go through and they go in the right direction. I am temporarily going to put 1 clasp on. I'm probably going to open up these jump rings and readjust this at the end so that it fits properly, but to hold it together to make it easier to attach and make sure that these links are lined up. If I put a clasp on one side, it helps me keep my chain straight. Now, there are little gadgets like a chain stop station thing, which is kind of helpful too, but I don't know where mine is. It got packed up when we packed our shop, and who knows where it went. I still have not found it. There is 28 or 17 years of shop items that got packed up that year, and we're still going through it.
I can't even imagine what that looks like. I can't even begin to imagine.
Yeah, I keep finding stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Someday you'll get through it all. Get it organized.
Yep. It's fun. It's or there's things that I go, oh, wonder what happened to that. I know exactly where it would have been at the shop.
Right. You can picture it in your head.
It was like always in that same spot, you know.
Only.
Yeah. All right. So the first
you have these kits still all available, right?
Yep.
Okay. In the Etsy store.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Muting again.
We're going to start. We're using in the craft wire. We are using 20 gauge. And I'm going to start out with a small, simple loop on one end. You want to make sure that these are nice. I use the 20 because it holds that loop pretty well, and I don't have to worry about it opening up. Plus, with the fact that we're going to be stringing through it later, the beading wire here is really what's going to hold your bracelet's integrity. So you're not going to have to worry about those loops opening up. I'm going to start out with a simple loop. We're going to add a daisy spacer, a rondelle, and a size 8 seed bead. Now, I only used one jump ring here, but I actually like to have 2 jump rings on my class. That's why later I am going to open this up and readjust it for my sizing. But right now, that's all I really need to do. I'm going to take this just to kind of keep it holding in place. Now, with this one, usually I like to go in the middle of the 3, but because of the type of chain this is, we can't do that because that would make it going downwards. We want to use the ones that are perpendicular to the table, and we are going to just go through that very first. So I'm counting 1, 2 large ones and going into the next small one. And then for the inside of this, I'm going to start with a bead cap, the flower, and the bead cap on the other side. Making sure that the bead cap goes around the flower. Let's slide down. Well, not slide down all the way because we got to get this little wire now over. And again, because I have my clasp on, it makes it a lot easier to go find the corresponding link over here on this other side. And I'm just going to run that through. And that's my middle part. And then on this other side, we're going to do a size 8, a rondelle, and a daisy spacer. When you make these, I suggest to always try to use some sort of seed bead, whether a minimum, a small, if you can't go any smaller than an 8, that's okay. An 8 works really well. But if you can do size 11s, those are wonderful for this spot too. If you want something small on either side of the chain, because if you have too big, like if you just went from this flower to the rondelle, it squishes the chain and it won't lay as well. So make sure you always put like some kind of little spacer, whether it's a small round bead, like a metal bead, a little daisy spacer, a little bead cap, or a size 8 seed bead, or even smaller like an 11. That works great too. Anything bigger than a size 8 seed bead, though, does get a little chunky and can cause some problems with how it goes around next to the chain. Now on here, I'm making a simple loop. Making these pretty small because I like them to be small because we're going to bead through them. Typically, I like to make larger ones when I'm making links to do like a necklace or earrings or a bracelet in other bracelets where they're hanging off of stuff or hanging off of each other. The larger the loop, the more freedom and movement you have. But in this style, it works better to have it a little bit smaller. Make sure that these two loops are in the same plane, because when we bead them up, we want them to be going in the same direction. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to do that again. We're going to make another little link. Now, I'm not going to do this whole bracelet today. We're just going to be working on parts of it. It takes a little bit time to do this bracelet, but it is worth it. I think I saw someone say that it's a statement bracelet, and it is a statement bracelet. I think sometimes you just want a nice big chunky bracelet to go with an outfit.
Did you catch this question? I wasn't paying really close attention. Do we add the jump ring to the smaller chain link?
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I should have been paying closer attention. I was posting.
No, that's good. Yeah, I did it onto the small. You want to be doing it to one of the smaller ones so that it is in that perpendicular link that you're going to be connecting it to this way.
There you go.
Just so that it lays better. You can do it in the large one too. It really isn't that bad to do it in the large. I have done it because on occasion the small link feels like you can't get it through. If you have an awl, these links should go, those jump rings should go in them quite easily because they are larger than it looks. But if you have an awl, you can stick an awl up in there and kind of open it up a little bit to make it a little easier to get in. But I was trying to choose a chain that allows for these jump rings. So I'm starting with again, the daisy spacer, then the rondelle, then the size 8 seed bead. After the little loop. And then I'm going to count 1, 2 big loops and go into the very next small loop. And then it's a bead cap or a small hishi, depending on if you get one of the future colorways. We'll have hishis because these sweet little bead caps are no longer. I am so devastated. I'm sure we all are.
I just don't know what we're gonna do. I'm hoping beyond hope. It just isn't true. Because
I know. I'm like, some miracle has to happen.
I just can't imagine. And of course, we've had people asking about Softflex, maybe buying TierraCast. And now, as you can imagine, we're just not in a really great place to be doing big things like that. So it's been a little tough.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, oh, maybe I should play the lottery. That'd be a nice little miracle.
I think Gail Loader, you need to get your lottery ticket because you've been doing our giveaways, and then you can buy TierraCast.
Love that. She
Gail,
is pretty
where
lucky.
are you? Get your lottery ticket. Save us all, Gail.
And then make this.
Oh, Stephanie, I see you're here and I got your message earlier. I just wanted to let you know that I had gotten it and I'll respond when I have a chance. It's just been a really hectic day. Week, month, year, all of those things.
Yep. Now, this one got a little bent, and so all I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich this loop on this side with one pair of chain nose pliers, sandwich the other side with the other loop with the other pair, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it until it's straightened out and they're in the right plane, and voila. And you're just going to keep going. You're going to do about 6 to 7 of these, depending on the length that you need. And you're just going to keep on going. Now I'm going to adjust my loop on this one. I'm going to actually open this up because we are going to do the sides now. If you start to decide to want to design with other beads, I suggest that you start from the center most of the time and not actually you could get the chain and gear, but don't crimp first. This one you can crimp first because I did all that work of figuring out how to get the ends right. But when you are playing with different kinds of beads, sometimes, the size of the beads are going to make the length a little different. And so you're going to want to, and your chain might be a little different. So your spacing in between might need a different count of beads. And so what I typically like to do is just use a bead stopper and start beading in between each one of them and then put my ends on once I'm done. But this kind of gives you a good little stretch to kind of find the right length. So I'm going to cut up 2 pieces that are a foot long each. You're going to want to do this up until you have all of them there. But because of TV magic, oh no, I don't have TV magic. I wanted to have TV magic where I had more of this in stages, but we are doing the just beat it on the fly, just make it work magic and show you how to get started with beading. Now we're using medium today for the edges. You could use fine also if your beads have like smaller holes, if you're using like some gemstones or something, but medium I think has a nice structure to it and nice flexibility for a bracelet. Oh, I lost one of my wires. See, I'm dropping everything today. Everything.
I always do that on live videos. Your fingers get all fumbly.
Yeah.
It's a really pretty design though, and you're getting some really nice comments in the chat.
Aw, thank you, everyone. So I'm going to take my crimp bead. We have our awesome Softflex crimp beads in these kits. that you can use your magical crimper with if you'd like, but I'm going to just be using my regular crimper because that's what I have on hand. Use what you got. You can always put a crimp cover on them if you're comfortable with that. Those are not part of the kit. If you are new to crimp covers, though, I suggest doing 4mm crimp covers. I feel like they are way more beginner friendly than the 3mm, even though the 3mm are just so sweet and wonderful. And the magical crimper is just wonderful, beautiful little tiny crimp ball that it makes. And Sarah and Kristen makes it look so easy.
Lots of practice.
Lots of practice. So we are going to just start with this little end here. Got my crimp. We're going to start making the link going through. And it starts out with a size 8 seed bead. A 8 demi round. And again, this kit comes with silver. I have the copper right now just because of my spillage. Then the trica or faceted 6, depending on which kit you have. The demi 8, a size 8 seed bead. Oh, sorry, a demi 6. That's a demi 6. And then a size 8 seed bead, another demi 6. And then your trica, a demi 8. And another size 8 seed bead. So I just like to line those up, and I'm going to just string those on. Really cool thing is all these beads have large enough holes so you can thread that little tail in to all of them if you want. Or you could cut some of this down. I'm going to cut some of it down. I don't mind some tail, but I don't need a whole lot of tail. But these crimps are so good that you can even go without if you wanted. Once I have those, we're just going to string through this loop that we made with the 20 gauge wire. So we're kind of making going from one outwards, making it like kind of a triangle shape there. And then we're ready to add the beads that go in between here. When designing your own sections, if you're using other types of beads, I suggest to crimp this side too and work both sides at the same time. It's going to go very well the first loop, and it might even go well the second loop. But once you get to like the third or fourth little cross beam that you make, sometimes it bunches up, or you find out that the space that you added is too big or is too small. So if you're working them up at the same time, it's so much easier. I find if I do one side, sometimes I will have it like it will fan out when I go to do the other side. And you don't realize it until you're like almost done. Now this section here, we're going to be adding something else. We're going to be making this cute. We're going to add that 6 round as a nice little complementary bead to go with it. So this is a little different on this edge here. Let's see, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. And now from the loop to the loop is another set of beads. So that starts out with a size 8 seed bead, a demi 8, a trica, a demi 6, a 6mm round, a demi 6, a trica, a demi 8, and a size 8 seed bead. Again, because we want things to work well, you always want to kind of, just like with the chain, having the small beads on either side of the chain so things don't bunch up. When you do this here too, you want small beads on either side of your loop. So I'm using the size 8 seed beads for that. Yes, it looks way more complicated than it really is it? Isn't it? That's one of my favorite things is when I discover a design that I can do that looks like it took way more than it did. It just makes me like, huh, makes me feel good. Then I can make another one in a different colorway. And it's not one and done. When it's too difficult, it's like, okay, I did one, I'm good. I don't need to do any more. And you're going to just keep doing that all the way down. I suggest not to, when you do this, don't finish this side until you go to do this other side. That way you can adjust the length if you need to. Because you can always add a little there's some extra beads, so you can always add, like if the amount that you need is less than adding one whole unit, like this one has 6, and what I did to make it just a smidgen more is I added one more jump ring here, and now it fits perfectly. 7 would have been fine, but it would have been looser. So it depends on how tight or how loose you want your bracelet. So sometimes you can just adjust it that way, or you can adjust it by adding a different amount of beads on this. So you can change that length. So don't cut this down until you know that's how you want it to go. And you won't really know until you get both sides on. It seems like you could do it with one, but because if you see how I pull that, it changes the way it pulls on the bracelet. So you want to make sure that you're doing both sides down before you go crimp it on the other end, just so you can make sure you're sizing correctly. Yes, this is a fun way to, when you only have a few of a special bead, whether it is a fun flower bead like this, or I did this with lampwork beads, and lampwork beads, sometimes you don't want to have, you don't buy too many of those. Those can get a little pricey. You could just do, every other one as a lampwork bead and have something else in the middle that's about the same size. There's a lot of ways to make, that's kind of what I did on this one with these big crystals. I did a big crystal, but then something small in between. And that way I could keep my costs down a little bit, but still utilize those really pretty beads. Just, it's a fun way to bead. And so that's all you're going to do is you're going to keep going. And then once you get it sized, you're going to crimp, you're going to cut your chain, attach your jump ring, and then crimp to your jump ring. Add an extra jump ring if you need to. I like to do it on the bar side of a toggle, just so that it makes it easier to put that on. And if you feel like there's a little too much space here, this is a great height you can add to this ring or to this side. Don't do it on the bar side. You can add little charm or extra bead. Take one of these extra flowers and dangle it off. Make your own little charm from that. So that is what I have today. I'm going to get this other side going. If there's any questions, I lost my crimp. We're going to find that crimp.
I don't see many questions, but I do see a lot of really nice comments.
Oh, wonderful. I like that. I'm glad, because that means it's a good design. And
what a statement piece. And I love, we're going to have to go over all the color mixtures again.
Oh, yes. I can
maybe with the bracelet in the shot so that they can kind of visualize what those colors are going to look like in that particular bracelet.
I could definitely do that. Let me get this.
If you guys love this design, make sure you're hearting and liking this video so that others can find it and enjoy this design as well and support Joyce in her Etsy shop. Joyce, how long have you been using Softflex?
Since before our shop in 2003. I think I got my first roll in like 1999, I think. When I was and the story of the reason why I got it was my friends and I were doing a lot of summer things together, and I made matching anklets. We were going to fairs and camping, lots of different things together, and we made matching friendship anklets, and one friend kept breaking hers.
Oh, no.
I was like, I got to find something. And then that's when I discovered Softflex, and she never broke it since. And that between that and I was breaking when, because I play with my necklaces, and a pendant would break. It would break it would kink right where the pendant was. And then, so once I started using Softflex, I never went back to anything.
What size wire are you using on this bracelet?
Today, I am using the craft wire is 20 gauge, and I'm using the 019 beading wire.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's almost a similar story to why Softflex started. Mike's jewelry was breaking, and he was like, I'm over it. This is not what I'm putting time and energy into this, and I don't want it to break. And so he sat down and helped create Softflex beading wire. And he initially created it for just his own designs. And then he realized there were people out there like Joyce who had friends breaking things, and they're having to fix it over and over. And he decided to go ahead and sell it on the open market. I think originally they just started with the 024 and then expanded into some other thinner diameter.
I actually think that was the first size that I got.
And it was really a hard thing because at that time, Tiger Tail was a couple dollars a spool. And these gentlemen come along and they've got a similar sized spool, and it's, $12.
Exactly. I got a bonus. I got a little extra bonus, and I said, okay, I'm going to splurge and see if this is all the hype. And it was. It did not.
But you don't have to make it again. But you don't have to make it exactly over. Yeah, no, I think 024 was the first size, Kristen. We'll have to ask Scott, but I'm pretty sure. And then they quickly came out with some thinner diameters after that. But yeah, it's just skyrocketed because people could see it was something people really needed. It wasn't just like, oh, this could make my life a little easier. Like it really,
it was needed. It was needed.
It's fundamental.
Yeah, when we decided to open our shop, I was like, we are selling this. We're going to get ourselves. This is what, and I constantly, we would show people in classes. It was like the very first thing that I would do when people came in, like, how do I make something? I said, this is what you do. I don't care if the other stuff is cheaper. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
And don't even bother. It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
I've been a fan forever, and so
So
that's
Joyce is kind of setting up each color so that we can kind of get a general idea of how that's going to come together. I think that'll help a lot for you to
yep.
be able to visualize those colors as a finished design. So all of these
Mhm.
colorways are available in her Etsy shop. And Joyce and Just Beat It have supported us for many, many, many years. And so we hope you'll go to their Etsy shop and support them as well. Just like all the presenters this week, these are all very long-term customers and friends of Softflex Company. And part of the reason they're invited to do Customer Appreciation Week is because they have been using our wire, many of them, for decades, and
Mhm.
have been showcasing it in their designs in many different ways in their bead stores or on their videos or at bead shows. And we want you to support each one of them as you can and throw some business their way because they're all deserving, wonderful companies.
Okay, last one. Yeah,
Thank you for putting all these colorways together too, Joyce. I feel like that gives so many options for people to choose a design that they really love in a color that makes sense for them.
yeah, that is one of the things that we've always done. Me and my sister, for those that have not cut it, it was a family business, and our favorite thing was to come up with colorways for projects. And oh my goodness, it was hard for us to stop sometimes with projects. We would sometimes have 10 different colorways because we could not stop.
That's awesome. Will you please give April a big hug for me? I miss her.
I know. I miss her too because I don't get to see her every day like I used to.
Okay, what is the name of this one again?
Okay, this one is our Twilight Bloom.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And
All
then
right,
we
what's
have our
next?
Woodland 2 because we had
Oh,
original Woodland, but some of the beads were not available.
Kristen. I think you
Woodland.
need this one. Kristen Fagan, calling Kristen Fagan. The
This is
purple.
Wisteria.
Oh, of course.
And then let's see if I can turn this without. Okay, then the one with the red is Midnight Shadow.
You're really testing your ability to hold things up under a camera.
I know.
Someone just said they bought Midnight Shadow. There it is.
Yay. Yeah, that one right there,
That's
Midnight
so
Shadow.
pretty.
And then this is Autumn 2.
Ooh.
So again, that one had a couple different colors, but he had to redo. And the chain used to be antique brass, but now we have that satin gold, which I think is really lovely in it too. So, and then of course that is our tropical. And then our original fairy garden.
Tropical is really great too.
Which I believe I have a few left still. We just got a few more beads in. So,
well, I hope you guys will go check out these kits in Joyce's Etsy shop and then everything else that she has in there too. She has a lot of different things that you can purchase from her. As we were talking about, she's a former bead store. So not everything they ever had is in their Etsy, but slowly
not
but
yet.
surely been adding things. Yeah. So
Yep.
it's getting there. And make sure you also, I think you can heart shops on Etsy. So you see as new things are added and get notifications from her shop. That would be a really good idea as well. Let me come up to us and then we're going to do our giveaway here in just a minute. So last chance to enter that giveaway. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. Comment hashtag Softflex Wire in the comments. It's automatically compiling them in the background. So we've got that going on. And I'm going to pick a winner here in just a minute. So be prepared for that. We still have things going on today. We've had 2 videos so far. If you missed Cassandra earlier, you can go watch it on replay on the Softflex YouTube channel. Kristen already set up a playlist for Customer Appreciation Week 2023. You can go watch all of the videos there. Eventually, you can go there now and click going on the videos that are coming up so you get notifications. Likewise, in Facebook, you can go to the event section, click going, and get notifications for the upcoming videos as we go throughout the week. There's something else I wanted to tell you. Live giveaways every video. So try to be there live if you can. If you can't, we understand. Here's the schedule real fast. So we've got today, we still have Sarah James. We're all going to be wishing her well for her wedding that is coming up. And we'll be opening the Customer Appreciation Week kit from Softflex and making something. That's at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, we're kicking off the day with Abby Berta at the Bead Place. And then that'll be followed up by CAW from Beadoria and Star Speeds. And then Kristen will be womaning the last show that day. 3 p.m. Pacific, if you want to hang out with Kristen and make from that kit as well. At the beginning of the show, we had a couple of the Customer Appreciation Week kits left. I don't know if we do. I haven't looked. But you may be able to still snag one if you want to. But you can see this whole schedule is posted on our softflexcompany.com website. Customer Appreciation Week is a link at the very top of the website. Go there to find out all of the information. You can go through the page and click the links and see if presenters still have kits left. It should go directly to their store or to the kit itself. And see, what's still available. I know some are launching new colorways. I think, Joyce, you launched new colorways today, right?
Yes.
Some are doing that. And then many of them have other things that you may be interested in. So you can find all of that information on the one page, including this schedule. Okay, let me drop this. And then let's do the giveaway before I run out of time. Okay. So I need to present, share screen, and here we go. Giveaway time. We are giving away a 10-foot spool of Softflex beading wire and purple amethyst. This is one of my favorite colors, really pretty. And we happen to have plenty of them. So Kristen and I powwowed, and that's what we're giving away this week on all of our videos. And we have 83 entries right now. It is your very last chance to enter to win, and put it into the comment field, hashtag Softflex. I think it's Y. Oh yeah, it's big on the screen right here. Softflex wire. Okay, here I go. I'm going to draw a winner, and you must be present. So let us know you're here when your name explodes with glitter here. It always slow rolls at the end. Eileen Sack on Facebook. It's either Eileen or Eileen. I think it's Eileen. Please let us know you're here. Let me hop back over here to see. Damien, if you happen to see her roll by, grab her comment and post it, please. Let's see. We're looking for Eileen Sack. And I'm looking to see if she's here. Let us know you're here. When you are here, what you're going to do is you're going to email info@softflexcompany.com. Let them know you won on Joyce's video, and you get a 10-foot spool of Softflex in purple amethyst. And Damien, if you could email Terry the name as well, then she has something to kind of check back on. Do we see her yet? Eileen. Oh, there she is. I see her. I can't catch her comment, but I see her. There she is. Congratulations, Elaine. Please email info@softluxcompany.com. We'll be doing giveaways all week long, so stick with us in order to get a giveaway. I think we still have the kit sale going. Is that right, Damien? $10 off if you have a kit in your order over $59 at softluxcompany.com. I showed you at the beginning, we have 3 kits. So you get $10 off if one of these kits is in your basket and your order is over $59. You also get free shipping over $65 at softluxcompany.com. Do you have anything you want to add, Joyce, here at the end?
I'm just happy. No, I think this went well. I'm so happy that it went, even though I spilled all those beads on the floor that I got cleaned out. But I had a fabulous time. I'm enjoying seeing all these comments. I see a few that have asked a few questions, so I will go in and respond after the live. But this has been great. I'm just so happy to be part of this.
Joyce, we feel incredibly blessed that you joined the Softlex Company team. And as I've told you both publicly and privately, we will take you as many hours a week as you will give us. And we are very excited to be talking about doing a Friday morning video for Softlex.
Yes.
At least
I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Joyce's ducks in a line and get her just ready so she feels good with her procurement job and all the other things that she's taking on. But once we're there, we're probably going to have Joyce coming on Friday mornings to do a live video for Softlex Company each week. So look forward to that. Give us your best name for Joyce's new Friday morning show in the comments. I want to hear what you think it should be. Joyful Joyce, Jump for Joy, it's Joyce. What are your best names? I want to hear them in the comments. And I'll be back at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern with Sarah James from Jesse James Beads. We'll be opening this fantastic, huge kit. And there's a lot of good Jesse James in here.
I love this kit. I got myself one.
It's going to be fun. So I'm going to open it up and we will be making with that this evening or late afternoon, depending on where you are. Friday fun with Joyce. I like we could just go woohoo Joyce, Susie. I know you weren't thinking that was a name, but I would go with woohoo Joyce. I love it. Rejoice. It's Friday. Oh, you guys are good. I knew I was going to get a lot of good ones. Joyous bead time. Yes, I love it. Okay, keep them coming in the comments. Please like and share this video and let people know that you're enjoying Customer Appreciation Week and shop from our presenters if you can, as well as softluxcompany.com. All right, we'll see you in just a little bit. Bye, everybody.